Yo, why is he looking at me like that? What's up, little bud? You got a staring problem, pal?
Like what, dude? He's just looking at you. He's a baby.
Look at his face.
Stop.
Yo, Zan, get your boy, dog.
I think this is actually probably going to be the most likely thing over the next few days, day or two. Maybe another $100 or $2 to really test this. And if we can actually test that, then maybe we can move above that. But again, we really have to wait and be patient. We're probably going to be heading up for a move over the next day or two. Wow, target hit, locked and loaded. Will Bitcoin continue as we break the 66? Currently actually pumping as I'm recording this video. What are the targets to the upside, guys? We have a lot to take a look at on this chart. As you can see from the clip from the beginning, this was a very significant area. We actually got a quick bounce off of it and rejected, but currently we're bouncing back up. Now, if we continue up, what levels of resistance are we likely to find? And as well, if we take a look on this chart, guys, this is a very key pattern. These lines are absolutely crucial, and we're going to be going over this structure during this video, and a very key level to the downside as well as to the upside. What is standing in the way? Wow, and as we've been talking about for weeks, guys, this ascending triangle that we brought to light many days ago. What are the targets for this upside? Okay, we have so much to look at in regards to this, and there's a lot of other patterns going on in here as well. Where can we find some significant resistance? And also, guys, what are the chances that Bitcoin rallies into the halving? And as well, what about the end of the year, 2020? Will we see new all-time highs at any point during 2020? Let's get charted. Wow, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a very exciting update. We're actually getting a pretty big move. So we tweeted this around 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time earlier today as we were coming down to this very key level. Now, we knew we were going to get some kind of reaction here. We've already been down here once, twice, three. Now, this is our fourth time down here. And guys, as you know from the charts, we clearly did get a pump. And actually, we're finding resistance right now at our other line right here. So very important. This is a very key thing, and I want to spend a lot of time talking about this as well. So guys, buckle in. Also, congrats so much to the winner yesterday. We did send that out today. But guys, if you want to win this ledger, make sure to leave a comment below. Hit the likes, hit the dings, hit the subscribes, and let's do this. So because this is kind of the first time we're talking about this specifically, I want to spend some time talking about this, guys. So this pattern is actually really interesting to look at. All of these lines are completely parallel. Our favorite types of patterns when they just like line up perfectly with each other. You can see all of these lines hold a very important level here. So we have it originally falling through here, finding support here on the bottom, bouncing through. You guys see it found support on certain levels, resistance and support on certain levels there, support on levels here, support, fell through. You saw on a 4-hour to a different 4-hour, then found resistance, found support, resistance, and now we're actually finding resistance again. So we think that's absolutely key. As well, we do have this light red dotted line as kind of the lowest target for this pattern to dip into and still remain valid. As you can see here, we came down here once, we wicked down on 2 4-hour candles, as well we kind of went significantly below that, obviously back on the initial drop on that 4-hour candle, which was pretty big. But we do have this down here, right about the 6,000 is where it would be if it came down right now, which also perfectly lines up here with this, where this sloping resistance is. We're going to get into this chart as well. And also the 6,000 actually lines up perfectly with this level, this falling level of support here. You can see that purple line, which would be right around the 6,000 too if it came down to this line right about here. So that's really important. We're going to take a look at both of those charts, but I just want to finish up here. This one is on the 4-hour chart. I think this one's really important for the next few days specifically, so we're going to be taking a lot of time looking at this one. These lines have been amazing. These lines have been pretty much hitting target after target, so these are really important. And as you can see right here, we're facing our first level of resistance here. We bounced straight from here, basically all the way up, and we can put it on 30 minutes so you can actually see just how like precise it is. Zoom into the 30-minute, you can see pretty much all the way straight up in 30-minute candles, and you can see it wicked all the way up to 67.23. Now it's currently at 66.82, about a $50 difference there. Bounced right off of here. So if we're going to continue upwards, again, next level of resistance would be 7,000. Now that's huge. 7,000, let's zoom back out to the 4-hour. 7,000 would be huge because also 7,000 is the very top of this move, of this ascending triangle that we've had on here for about a week. Very key pattern. 7,000, if we broke out of there, that could initiate some sort of a blast off right there. Now, obviously 7,000 is a big resistance zone, 8,000 being the biggest, as we've been talking about. But on this chart as well, 7,000 might take a lot to get above, but as well, we also have this descending line, which as the time goes on, guys, this is about 7,000 right now as well. So again, we think 7,000 obviously is going to be pretty big resistance moving forward. After 7,000 will be roughly about 75, I think, based on this, on the daily chart. Again, I think that's really important there. But again, as we're right now, we're at 66, which is what we talked about yesterday as the target. If we're going to continue upwards, 7,000 is going to be obviously very huge resistance for a lot of reasons. It's on every single chart. All 3 of these charts right here has 7,000 as a pretty big level, okay? All these lines line up perfectly. 7,000 ascending lines up here. We have 7,000 descending on the daily chart. This is the 4-hour. On the daily, 7,000 lines up with this line. And then as well on a different 4-hour chart, 7,000 is just the highest level of pumpage on this ascending triangle that we've been talking about. And if we zoom out and actually get all of the volume over the past about 2 years here, actually, sorry, about 1 year, 7,000 is a pretty big level in terms of the volume right about here. This is 7,000, but again, guys, 8,000 is by far the biggest. You see that right here. It's the point of control here on the VPVR, this red line, okay? This is kind of like the biggest area. So 8,200, again, it actually lines up very much with a lot of these different things here. 7,000 huge, 8,000 huger, even huger. And then we said as we move forward, 10,000 is going to be less and less of a giant significant level. If we get above some of these key levels, then I think structurally on the daily and weekly charts that 10,000 looks a little bit weaker than what 8,000 currently is. As well, guys, this descending level of support I think is the biggest thing. As we consolidate more and more in this overall pattern, if we zoom out, as we consolidate more and more, you see this pattern get more and more crunch time, okay? Things just getting smaller and smaller and tighter and tighter. And eventually, say we go all the way out to, let's say, May even, and we get here. This is only down at 95. If we broke 95 by then, I think we'd probably come back and retest it. But by then, I think that would be blast off zone, okay? I don't think we need to get back up to like 14K first. And I don't think we would need to get up to 10.5K first. I think this is probably the prevailing resistance of this entire giant pattern. Now, this goes back 2 years. This goes back to actually over 2 years, to the end of 2017. So very important there. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to take a look at. So as well, I have these red lines, guys. I think the red lines are going to be the biggest obstacles for Bitcoin moving forward. It's cool because we're so close to them already. We're like, within $1,000. Again, as the price consolidates, we're getting crunched into this crunch time. So that's more and more important there. But overall, these charts are just extremely accurate so far. This one specifically is actually really amazing to look at. This is ever since it fell on March 12th here. So this ascending channel and these perfect parallel lines, I think, are just crucial. You can see they're the exact same slant upwards, but also they're basically the same spacing in between as well, guys. So that's just absolutely crucial. Now, I want to take a look at this before we dive too much deeper. This is basically an article talking about the all-time high being in 2020. So this chart... This article on CoinDesk actually has the chances of Bitcoin reaching all-time highs by the end of 2020 at 4%. Okay, and they're using the options market as the signal there. How valid that is, I guess we won't know until about 8 months from now. But most importantly, I want to draw your attention to this part of the article, the odds of a post-halving rally, which is less than 50 days away now. It states here, historically, reward halving has led to monumental economic growth for Bitcoin and other cryptos. And as you can see, if we go to this chart here, the halvings, which are these... giant vertical lines here, the price pumps exponentially in the past. Now, will that happen every single halving? I don't think people really know for sure yet because there's only been 2 other halvings so far, so it hasn't been around long enough. Brandon Mintz, CEO of Bitcoin ATM provider Bitcoin Depot, said that, and Matthew Dibb, the co-founder of Stack Fund, said he expects the halving event to create upward pressure on Bitcoin's price over the coming 2 months. Investors will take up positions in anticipation of rapid appreciation post-halving. And guys, I want to say this as well. I think if the economy or everything, it doesn't have to get better, but as long as it doesn't get a lot worse, I think that's the key thing. As long as the economy and all the news surrounding everything doesn't get exponentially worse, it doesn't have to get better. As long as that happens, then I think there could be renewed excitement in the Bitcoin halving coming up, guys. Remember, less than 2 months away. It's coming up on only a month away, so that's very exciting. I think that's one thing to get excited about. And as well, Bitcoin seemingly could be decoupling a little bit anyway, and again, that's like the long-term goal. If it never decouples, then it pretty much failed, right? That's not the point of it. So definitely some key things to pay attention to. Other than that, we do have a target here. This is our ascending triangle. I personally think that this is actually going to go on maybe for a few more weeks, but I think this will probably break out before April. Definitely before. I definitely think it'll break out before April is over. We still have 30 days left in April. This is the very first month. I personally don't see us trading below 7,000 and in between 7,000 and 6,000 for the next 30 days, okay? I definitely don't see us trading in between this price range for the next 30 days. I think it's going to happen a lot quicker. I think we're going to see a weekly continuation if we do continue to go upwards, guys, because there's no guarantee we're going to go up. Remember, we still have the targets on this chart. Just because we're going up today, we still have 54 and 5,000 specifically as like key target areas to look for some downside, specifically 54 still. 54 is like the very big level that we want to watch out for. If we go down to those levels, it would break out of this pattern though. So this is kind of like the bullish pattern we're watching for right now, We still could go down to 6,000 and that would remain kind of in this area if we got a pretty quick wick up like we saw here, only about 2 4-hour candles. But other than that, guys, this chart's looking real good, real nice. So let me know what you think. Make sure to leave a comment below, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.